What? What? Bang!
Whoa! Wrestling podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep screwed rep.
Yeah.
Woo! Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it? Unbelievable.
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for. It's me, Austin. I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling video game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available exclusively through Facebook. Create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs, even build your own corporation from the ground up, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable, available now to all Facebook users, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family and you want your name in the shoutouts, like my good buddy John down in Texas, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. We got loyalty rewards. $15 a month contributor, you can host a show with myself. $7.50 a month, enter into a drawing to also co-host a show with me. Just like John, my longest Patreon member, he and I are putting together some special episodes that'll come out soon. Patreon exclusive content for those who subscribe to the channel. Hello everybody, welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, something you want us to touch on in a future episode, call us, let us know. Call the Pro Wrestling Sound Off line 267-642-1160 and we will get to those questions in a future episode. It is a talk to text service. Make sure you get whatever you want in there and I will address that on a future show. Tonight we're going to cover a few things. We're going to react to Smackdown. We're going to talk predictions for Clash in Paris and the rest of the day's news. Got to get started with Smackdown. Pretty solid show. Opening the show with Logan Paul and John Cena. A fantastic back and forth verbal. In my opinion, John Cena schooled Logan Paul in this promo. Cena was Cena of old. He really hit all the points. He did a great job of making it very clear that despite the fact that this is the farewell tour, John Cena can still bring it when he needs to. He was on top of his game. Logan Paul, clearly super talented performer. Somebody that I really can't wait to see how far they take him. And look, I get it, the guy's got a controversial past, but when it comes to his wrestling and everything he's done in WWE since arriving, he has been fantastic, one of the best on the roster, and I think at this point in time, this is exactly where you want him. And look, when you were looking at the John Cena farewell tour, I think a Logan Paul match was nowhere on the bingo card. I think this situation has become absolutely phenomenal, and it's something that's really strategically positioned Logan Paul in a place where he can really contribute at a high level with somebody on their way out the door who better to get a rub from than John Cena. Once we get done with the John Cena conversation, we move into the Alexa Bliss with Charlotte Flair versus Chelsea Green with Alba Fire, and the match itself, pretty solid. I really hope at some point Alba Fire is given the opportunity to do everything that we know she's capable of doing as a singles competitor. For now, doing a fantastic job with everything Chelsea Green. In this match, Alexa Bliss is going to pick up the win. I always love that Simon Miller calls it the most devastating move in professional wrestling, the surprise roll-up. I think people use it far too often, but it worked in this situation. After the match, blindsiding Bliss with a super kick from Alba Fire. The beatdown is on. Flair comes out to break things up, and unfortunately, Flair gets taken down as well, unprettier to Charlotte, and it is just a great layout. I think it's good because it builds some credibility for Chelsea Green and her people. I love that. We go from there to Michin versus Kiana James. What a waste of time. I understand it furthers the bigger narrative, which is with Julia. I don't think anybody believes that Michin can take the championship from Julia, even though she's very talented and I would have no problem talent-wise allowing her to do that. But WWE has not built her up to be a credible opponent for any championship right now. Maybe if they had given it to her instead of Chelsea Green to begin with, not that I'm upset about that, because I think Chelsea Green deserved the run with the championship as the first one ever. But shortly after, had she won it then, might have done something much better. Instead of the situation where they transitioned the championship to Zelina Vega, instead had it gone to Michin then, I would say she would have been built to be a credible challenger here. But right now, I don't see any chance for her to be taken seriously. We go from there into the Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton face-off. Got very physical. I think this is great, keeping the guys apart as much as possible. Clearly, the match is coming. It should be a fantastic feud. Obviously, it ties into the Cody Rhodes narrative as well, where McIntyre has become notorious for sharing the truth. He speaks the truth, and clearly Cody was thinking about the things he was saying in reference... I apologize, Randy Orton thinking about the things he was saying in reference to Cody and their friendship, and how Cody... At some point down the line, this has got to lead to a match. I would suspect WrestleMania, maybe before then, but I hope not. That is the match I want to see for Mania, is Cody versus Randy Orton. But definitely laid the seeds here, which is fantastic. It's a great idea to have that set up so well, and furthering their own storyline. From there, we jump into the Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders match. We see the Street Profits with B-Fab taking on Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. Again, I don't know why you put Carmelo Hayes and The Miz in this position if you weren't going to make them the ones to win the match, especially since there's a tie-in in terms of how these guys have been presented, the Tag Team Champions being the Wyatt Six, and people like The Miz. The Miz is very similar, I think, in terms of the Wyatt Six to how they treated Chad Gable. That, I think, would have been more compelling. The Street Profits, I get it, they're a fantastic tag team. They've been there before. I just think Carmelo Hayes and Miz would have been better for the match with Wyatt Six. They can lose and it doesn't hurt anybody, but it could give Carmelo a chance to shine. But whatever, we're not going that angle. In this match, Street Profits pick up the win. They are going to face off against the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six have a stare down with the Profits in the ring, and it was all perfect. It led us into our main event, which is Solo Sikoa with the MFT defending the United States Championship against Sami Zayn. And of course, in the match, he's going to get some help from Jacob Fatu, from Jimmy Uso, which is going to take care of all the outside interference. What I am not a fan of here is by taking out the outside interference, what you have effectively done is you have made JC Mateo and Tonga Loa look like they have nothing to offer. When they're both being taken out by Jimmy Uso, no disrespect to Jimmy Uso, he should not be able to take out two people, especially somebody like JC Mateo by himself. I understand the Tala Tonga and Jacob Fatu thing. That makes a lot of sense to me. There needs to be another guy on the babyface side of things here. I'm shocked that it wasn't Jey Uso already. I get it. He's in the championship match at Clash in Paris. But what are we doing here? There needs to be somebody else to balance the sides here. Is this match at Clash in Paris just something to buy time until he could then transition over to SmackDown, rejoining his brother and balancing the odds here? I don't know. The finish of the match coming after all that outside interference and negating all that. Solo Sikoa going for the Samoan Spike a couple times, not being able to deliver it. Sami Zayn with an exploder, a missed spike, a couple haluva kicks, and Sami Zayn wins for the first time the United States Championship. He is now one championship away from completing the Grand Slam. He needs a world championship, some kind of world championship. I get it, there's a bigger Grand Slam. I'm talking about the one where you get at least a world championship. The IC, the United States, the tag team. He's done everything else. It's time for him to be considered for a world championship opportunity, perhaps with Seth Rollins at Mania. We'll have to wait and see. But I thought it was a solid show, top to bottom. I have no complaints, especially as leading into Clash in Paris. They didn't mess with anything too much. I think it's going to be a solid show tomorrow night, as I'm recording this on Saturday night. But at the same time, I think they did enough here that it didn't feel like Raw, where Raw has become very repetitive, same ending every week to the show. This, not that we haven't seen a lot of Zayn and Solo, but this was a different ending in ways because we saw a title change. This wasn't some run-in. I expected there to be a run-in. I expected it to be a schmaz ending. I expected this to lead to some match further down the line where Sammy would finally get the championship. To change the championship here on SmackDown, big stuff. Very happy to see that. Let's move away for a few moments from WWE. Let's go to the controversy of the week. Raja Jackson, Psycho Stu, the incident at Knox Pro. If you have been hiding under a rock somewhere, didn't hear what's going on, I think we've all heard the short story. I'll report just briefly. Basically, I'll put it in my terms. You have a guy who's a professional wrestler in the back who sees someone show up with a camera crew. That person is Raja Jackson, who has been invited to the show by somebody with the organization. He does not know that Raja Jackson is not a talent performing. This is a small indie company. It's not some big major promotion. It's not like they're going to sign exclusive contracts. I believe, this is just my assumption, that Psycho Stu made the connection and thought Raja Jackson was a talent there to perform, and they do a whole thing where, and it's being live streamed on Raja Jackson's platform. They kind of get face to face, and it leads to Psycho Stu grabbing what appeared to be an empty or mostly empty beer can and like wonking him in the head with a worked hit. It should not have hurt him at all. It should not have done anything to him at all. He was frustrated because he's not a talent. He was there as a guest, I assume. Throughout the evening, Psycho Stu apologized countless times for the incident once he found out what was going on, felt horrible about it. And they come up with the idea to use it as an angle in the show later that night, with Raja Jackson sitting ringside. At one point before the show, they never show him or anybody in the company going over what exactly he was going to do with Psycho Stu, but the understanding coming out of it is he was going to have an opportunity to get in the ring, get his licks back. One of the wrestlers, and I'm not going to go with all the names because, quite frankly, I just don't care at this point. One of the wrestlers encourages him to give him a receipt, basically, get your licks back. But then on his stream, he talks about how he's going to wail on him until somebody pulls him off. And that's exactly what happens. He slides into the ring at a certain point. He picks him up. He slams him to the mat. Almost in like a Pearl River plunge kind of thing, and his head bounces off the mat. He is either out or damn close to out. And then Raja just rains down the punches. 21 punches is what I've been told. I've watched the video once. It's disgusting to me. I don't want to watch it again. And here's the thing. I've heard people argue about, oh, he's working the punches. He's pulling them through the beard and this and that. I don't want to hear it. A guy does not end up in the hospital who only regained consciousness this morning and has very little memory of the situation. That doesn't happen if they're worked punches. The guy was in critical condition all week. This is disgusting. This is something that should never have been allowed to happen. The company needs to be held accountable. The referee should have got between this nonsense and literally UFC style shoulder tackled him off the guy if he had to. Where were the other wrestlers? Thank God there was a 17-year-old kid who came into the ring to try to pull him off him, which was not successful. Somebody else got in the ring and finally got him off, and he tried to double leg him as well. That guy ended up jacking him into the corner and giving him a headbutt. I wish that guy would have broken his neck. Okay, I'll say it. I wish somebody would have done to him what he was trying to do to Psycho Stu in defense, because this was a disgusting display. Now, I'm not wishing death on anybody, but I wish somebody would have hurt this guy, because he was clearly trying to hurt somebody else. To me, this is almost akin to attempted murder. This is ridiculous. He needs to have serious police intervention. This guy needs to go away. I've seen the news. I've seen that his father, Rampage Jackson, former UFC fighter, UFC Hall of Famer, came out and was talking on behalf of his son, saying his son's going through something. He had a concussion recently. He lost his mom and all that. I understand all of that. Nothing excuses what happened in that ring. Nothing. Nothing gives you the right to purposely try to hurt another human being. What's really disgusting to me, a California independent promotion, the promotion that I want to make sure that I say it correctly, Danger Pro Wrestling in California is now apparently advertising and they're going to sign Raja Jackson to come in and do some dates with them. Who in their right mind would do that? Talk about a PR nightmare. This guy is potentially going to have serious criminal charges brought against him, and now you want to book him for an in-ring appearance sooner than anticipated? This is a problem. Okay, I'm whoever that company is, everybody should boycott that show. To me, this is the kind of boycott you should have, very similar to the kind of stuff we have for the Speaking Out movement. This was clearly purposeful, intentful attack on somebody, and this was meant to cause damage, and it was absolutely disgusting, and I hated everything about it. Now, the reality is, I don't want to hear all these people talking about, like, working the business and knowing the business, the behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to hear that. It doesn't matter. He shouldn't have been there. A camera should not have been back in the locker room area at a professional wrestling event unless you're one of the guys working the show. That's part one. Part two, there is no way in heck anybody can convince me that that was a worked situation. That was a guy losing his cool. He needs consequences. I'm going to shut up now because I can go on about this for forever. Let's move on to Death Before Dishonor. Took place. Great show, Ring of Honor. There are a couple things that come out of the show that are very, very important. I can blow by a lot of the different things that happened, but the ones that I cannot go over. Shane Taylor Promotions, we know that Dustin Rhodes is going to be out for an extended period of time. Marshall and Ross Von Erich, the six-man tag team champions with Dustin Rhodes, had Sammy Guevara substitute in for Dustin Rhodes. They end up relinquishing and losing the six-man tag team championship to Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor, Charlie Bravo, and Captain Sean Dean. Great situation. That's a great team to carry that banner for the six-man tag team division. Shane Taylor Promotions, a stalwart of Ring of Honor for years and years and years. When you look at the Lee Moriarty, he's defending the Pure Championship. He ended up retaining his championship. Again, an AEW talent really getting an opportunity to shine on the Ring of Honor brand that normally does not get that same opportunity. We got to see Paul Walter Hauser in a match with QT Marshall in a fight without honor match where QT Marshall ended up picking up the win. Guevara pulled double duty because he's also the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and Dustin can't defend those either, so he brought out Roosh to be his partner, and they went against the Outrunners, and the reality is Guevara heel turned here, teamed with Roosh, win the Tag Team Championship, and then Marshall and Ross Von Erich come out, and then they jump them as well, clearly turning Guevara heel again, leading. That's obviously going to lead to a tag team match with the four of them. I think that's a fantastic situation. Ring of Honor World Championship match, Bandito retained his championship over Hechicero from the Don Callis family. Again, an AEW talent getting a chance to showcase himself on Ring of Honor. And what I think is the most important, Athena, the current Ring of Honor Women's Champion with Billy Starks, defeated Mina Shirakawa by pinfall, continuing her Women's Championship reign. 1,000 days clearly in the books. What a great show. Ring of Honor, despite the fact that it's not AEW Prime Television, doing some great stuff. Moving it is back to some WWE stuff. They acquired AAA, and we have Triple Mania coming up very, very soon. And when they get there, a main roster star has been announced for the show for the Mixed Tag Team Championship. Mr. Iguana is one half of the Tag Team Champions with his partner, La Hydra. They're going to take on Lola Vice, main roster WWE, well, I shouldn't say main roster, NXT superstar, and Lindsay Dorado, already announced at the Show Center Complex for Triple Mania. Should be fantastic. Maybe Lola Vice picks up some gold for the NXT brand. This would be great, and hopefully at the next Worlds Collide, we'll see more of a presence, not necessarily of WWE main roster stars, but of the NXT influence, just because it brings a breath of fresh air to some of that AAA stuff that a lot of those guys have been there for quite a long time. We need some fresh matches, but I don't want it to be too WWE heavy. I really don't. I want it to be one of those situations where there's a good sampling of WWE, NXT, or main roster talent just to help get over the AAA brand, but this another match announced should be great. Okay, so now we've covered all that. Let's get into the big conversation of the week. The Clash in Paris 2025 predictions. We have got Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship in a four-way, and let's really cut through it. CM Punk can't win the championship. He just won it and lost it to Seth in a couple minutes. Not happening. Jey Uso can't win it. He had it. He lost it. He's on the downturn for whatever reason. Shouldn't be as popular as he is, but he is. And then you have LA Knight, who's just simply not in a position to be able to do this. They gave him the win over Seth before Seth's supposed injury. That was great. That's about as high as he's going to get. There is no chance at all, in my opinion. No other option. Seth Rollins wins this match. 100% in on that. And I haven't even looked at the odds. I couldn't care less. Seth Rollins retains the World Heavyweight Championship. After that, we get to the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, Sheamus versus Rusev. Look, I get it. When you're in Paris, you would think maybe Sheamus gets this one because it's kind of his style match. I would not do that. Now, I understand WWE at some point is going to have to get Sheamus back on that Intercontinental Championship run because they talked about it so many times. You can't just give up on it. The guy deserves it as long as he's been there and all he's done. So I hope he does win just for that purpose, but I would not do that right now because Rusev's the guy who came back. Rusev has been on a tear, and Rusev deserves to be elevated, not held down. This is why he got frustrated, I think, in AEW. This is why he probably got frustrated in WWE. He starts to, skyrocket, and then you put a ceiling on him. And I'm not saying Sheamus is a bad ceiling, but Rusev can do more. Put him in there with some bigger names. Heck, Rusev's aligning himself with Seth Rollins or on Smackdown joining the MFTs would be interesting to me. A totally different layer. Going on his own and just being a bulldozer would be fantastic. I'm going to go against what a lot of people are saying. I was actually on Wrestling Inc., and they were very much in favor of Sheamus. I'm going the other way. I'm going with Rusev. From there, we go to Becky Lynch defending the Intercontinental Championship against Nikki Bella. I think Nikki Bella coming back is a great feel-good story. Congratulations to her on being able to come back. A lot of people have not had the fortunate opportunity to come back to WWE and give it one last run or one more run. But in this situation, I don't see a way for Becky Lynch to lose. I think right now she has to retain. And for a unique reason for me, I think a lot of people wanted to see Bayley win the championship from her. I'm off of that train now. What I want to see is I'm over Natalya being Natalya. I listened to her on Busted Open Radio. One of the best promos that she's done is when she went essentially between characters of Natalya and Natty. And Natty is a more gruff, gritty, angry, motivated, and she described herself as like an 18-year-old vet with a rookie mentality. Like she has all that knowledge, but it's like the energy and the excitement of a first-year rookie. I love that. I would actually love for Natty to be the one to take the championship from Becky Lynch. I think that would be fantastic to I don't want to say cap off her career, because she's got plenty of time left if she chooses, but I really think she deserves that opportunity. So with that being said, I don't see any way for Nikki Bella to do it if you follow along my thought process. From there, John Cena, Logan Paul. After the promo on SmackDown, I want to be able to say what a lot of people are saying. John Cena 100% wins the match. John Cena should win the match 100%, no doubt in my mind. However, I firmly believe Brock Lesnar is going to show up to further the feud that they're going to have heading into WrestlePalooza, and I think that Brock Lesnar is going to cost John Cena this match. Logan Paul, I'm predicting, walks out with a win over John Cena. I know it sounds insane. That's just what I feel. And then we have Bronson Reed taking on Roman Reigns. I think almost everybody is in favor of Roman Reigns winning this match. I have no problem with that. I just don't know where Roman Reigns fits right now. I know eventually it'll be with Seth Rollins, and it's weird because I really want Sami Zayn to win that championship from Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, but when you have Roman Reigns sitting there, that feels like a natural match at Mania as well. So I don't know how to do this. Do we do Seth and Roman early? Do we do something at Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, and then get to Sami at Mania? I don't know. If we're going to push off Seth and Roman, you could have Reed win this. If you're going to do it sooner, I think Roman has to win this. And just because of my hope for Sami Zayn, I'm going to lean towards Roman Reigns winning this matchup. So that's going to be my official prediction. Roman Reigns defeats Bronson Reed. He wins back the Shua Fala from the Tribal Thief. I laugh every time I hear somebody say that on commentary. I think that's freaking hilarious. But whatever, it is what it is. And before we head out tonight, gotta throw this out there. A special congratulations to WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes and his wife Brandy. They have announced the birth of their newest addition to the family, Leilani Ella Runnels, their new baby girl. Congratulations to them both, bringing their family to 4 members now, and 2 future women's talents in WWE, a good 18 to 25 years away. Hopefully some world champions coming out of the Rhodes family from Cody Rhodes' side of things. He's got to get on that train again in about, 9 to 10 months and give us a boy. We need another boy in the Rhodes family too. Carry on the tradition, just like Dad and their uncle. I know Dustin has on his side again more kiddos that could come up through the system. It would be great. We always talk about the Anoa'i family and the bloodline, how big that family is. Cody Rhodes and the Rhodes family also having an opportunity to bring future generations into the business. It should be amazing. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. We run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks as always out to Suno AI for generating the music and sound effects we use in our show. Today's show sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and pick up your copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college, university life, or you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking a few moments with us today. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night.
Crossing the